Welcome, basketball fans all over the world, wherever you may be, and welcome back now to the BCL Trash Talk podcast. This is an extended episode from our previous episode. Lots to talk about. 2 more games coming up. I am your host, as usual, Josh Bett. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Igor Curkovic. Igor, what's going on, brother?
Just enjoying the mini break that we got before the last 2 games of the season. We're going to use this show to give you all the BCL news. You're going to see an interview with a very special Hapoel Jerusalem player, and then we're going to do the talking heads for both of the games.
Well, first of all, Igor, in terms of BCL news, I mean, the season is wrapping up. We got 2 more games to go. We'll get onto those games later. I got to go there. We got to go there right away. I mean, I want to know from your perspective, who is going to be this season's MVP?
I just did the MVP race, my usual column, which I have been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. And this is by far the craziest thing. I mean, it's hard to put a finger on it. So basically, we go from top 10 to top 5, and then kind of finally to number 1. I'm going to tell you that number 5 this time around is Zoltan Perl, which is the Hungarian Pearl, as you like to call him. And he's been simply amazing. 4, Paco Cruz of Tofaş. 3, Patrick Richard of Cluj-Napoca. Number 2, Justin Simon of Ludwigsburg. And number 1, Akun Purcell, Galatasaray. The man you watched last week.
I can't be objective on anybody else other than, Devana Cooper. This guy just has everything in his skill packet. He can shoot from the perimeter. He can play in transition. He can play defense as well. This guy can rebound. I mean, we saw him make his debut in the Basketball Champions League at the very beginning with the Back and Bears. And again, when you talk about a career that's gone nowhere but upwards, you got to talk about Devana Cooper. Justin Simon in that argument as well, but I got to go. Sorry, a Cooper for me.
Yeah, I mean, first season, I think it was probably one of his first games ever. Could be even the first one. He played for Back and Bears against Nürnberg, and he went for a 360 dunk in the game, which was already, okay, this guy is serious. And once you make the transition from Denmark to the NBA, that just tells you you're special. And he's a perfect guy for the kind of environment that Galatasaray built this season. They've got 120 points per 100 possessions, which is leading the entire league, and he's fitting right in. And it's going to be hard to see him not win the MVP of the season award if he keeps this up. I think you might have a case if Hapoel Jerusalem go far, that this next guy could be in the MVP talks as well.
This is what I love about the Basketball Champions League. The narrative is never set in stone. The narrative will always change. Hapoel Jerusalem started the season off very poorly, but this guy that I'm about to meet for the main event, I mean, he is the main event. That is his middle name. Retin Obasohanc has finally got the keys to the bus, and he's looking at a Cooper and Galatasaray, and he's saying, hey, I'll see you at the final probably. Let's go and meet Retin Obasohanc of Hapoel Jerusalem for the main event. Welcome now to the BCL Trash Talk main event, and I'm here with superstar of Hapoel Jerusalem, Retin Obasohanc. Retin, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, congratulations. What a big performance that was against Pinar Kashiaka, but let's jump straight to it. The last 2 games, well, let's go back to the first 3 games, of course. Opening night, it was a game winner in which Bonzi Colson stole the game at the Pai Arena. After that, it's been 2 tough games, but all of a sudden, you started to pick up your game, and things have changed now for Hapoel Jerusalem. What has been going well for you that's led to these performances?
Well, I think we've stayed consistent. I think that, we've been coming in the gym, working. And I think one thing we didn't give up. It didn't look good there. After the first 3 games, we have to be very honest. But being able to, amidst the changes that happened, stay positive, believe in the guys that we have in our locker room, believe in our front office, believe in our coaching staff. We've been able to, turn things around the way that we have, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Now, first of all, I mean, look, you guys picked up a very big victory the second time that you met Arged Biemstal Ostrowiecopolska. I think I said the name right. I always get that one wrong. But
tough one.
To go on the road to Izmir and to play in front of such a magnificent fan base in Pinar Kashiyak, I mean, what was the feeling going into the game? And then just run us through how you guys as a team, how you had such a spectacular performance.
Well, I think a lot of the things that really came together in that game was our preparation. Honestly, for weeks leading up to it, Coach Yotam, Guni, Dani, even Dutsi, our entire staff really made it an emphasis for us to be ready, mentally as well as physically. So everything we were doing, even on and off the court, was really centered around believing and working consistently. And I think that we were able to day by day work, and then come into that game really believing in the preparation that we've had up until that point, and then trusting what may happen. So it was really a really nice culmination of all the work we've put in until that point, and that's what you like to see.
Now, of course, look, I mean, the first 3 games, you guys, I guess, were just finding out how to play with each other. But in the last 2 victories, let's talk about you personally along with your teammates. You have over 20 points in each game, and all of a sudden, it's a big difference. You guys are starting to pick up wins. But talking about the players you have in your team, there's 3 players in particular. Well, actually, there's 4 players I want to talk about. First of all, what is it like playing with Jalen Adams?
Oh, wow. Jay, he's the sky's the limit for him, honestly. And it's scary to think about he's just getting started. Obviously he had, his stint in France. But this has really, been his first opportunity to, from a get-go, get on a team and really, go alongside, this European side of basketball. So to watch how he has progressed, in the, I think, 5 months now, has been tremendous, and it's only going to be really cool to watch and see how he grows throughout this season and also just the rest of his career.
Well, again, you talk about him just getting started, of course, but let's talk now about a veteran player with, some serious experience in his game, and that's Sean Kilpatrick. I mean, what's it like having a veteran player who's still playing at the top of his game now? What are you learning off Sean Kilpatrick?
I'll say one of the big things is approach. Just the way that he approaches the game. He still has that fire and passion, like somebody that is just getting started. And just to be able to see that, throughout his career, the different places he's been, he still has, that same zeal and passion, like anybody else I've ever seen. It's motivating, what I mean? It also inspires a certain level of sense of urgency amongst all of us to know that, you can't come into practice half-stepping, because SK is going to say something, so, that definitely keeps everybody hungry and on edge.
Now, 2 players I want to talk about because their games, they work so hard for your team. One of them has just come back to the team. That's Suleiman Bremer. I mean, we're talking about a man who's played in Japan. He's played all over Europe. It's now his 2nd time playing for Hapoel. And the second one is Israeli national teammate Itai Segev. What is it like having those 2 players who they're workhorses? They just give you 110%. For you as a scorer, what's it like having them?
Man, it makes a world of a difference. These 2 guys, they have incredible motors. And they really play the game with, a passion, but also a certain vulnerability. I think it takes a special type of person to go out there and just be completely willing to leave everything out on the court, no matter what you look like, no matter what other people might think about you. And those 2 really have that skill down to the highest level, and I think that is really, valuable for any team, and especially for our team, because they wear down opponents. That's just the truth of the matter. Not only because, they're skilled players, but just because they play so hard for every single second that they're on the court. And, that inspires everybody alongside it.
Now, of course, this is now your 4th team that you played for in the Basketball Champions League. You played for Siddiq Zavalino, Gross Badberg, Iranimburg. So you played for some very good teams. But look, when we talk about teams with massive fan bases, I mean, Hapoel Yerushalayim has to be up there. What is it like going into the arena, whether it's the Winter League, whether it's the Basketball Champions League, and just playing in front of the Hapoel fans?
It's special. It really is special. even we just had a road game here in the Winter League against Hapoel Tel Aviv, and if you didn't know any better, you would have thought it was a home game. Our fans showed up loud and proud, and they supported us, every single second of that game. And whether it's the road game or a home game, our fans, they show up, they show out. They're electric. Even if we're just walking around the city here in Jerusalem. So just to be able to, play for these guys and represent them in a way that makes them proud, makes my family proud, the organization, it means a lot for sure.
Now, in Jerusalem, those fans are fantastic. I mean, those fans they're always on social media. And they always say a saying in Hebrew, it's Yeshli Shtei Malim, which means I've got 2 words. And they always say, do you know what those 2 words are?
I'm gonna guess Yala Hapoel.
Yala Hapoel. And every game, a couple of years ago, James Feldean had a game of games. And the commentator said in Hebrew, Ani ohev James Feldean, which means I love James Feldean. When Retin Obasohanc signed for Hapoel Bank Yav Yerushalayim, the fans are already saying the saying is going to be Ani ohev Retin Obasohanc. I mean, they absolutely love you, of course. But look, let's talk about your coach now. I mean, look, you guys started off the season with a different coach. Things didn't quite work out, but now you brought in Yotam Halperin. How has the transition been so far?
It's been smooth. Obviously it's never easy, when you switch coaches, especially because I came with Coach Oren from Nürnberg. But, I got to give credit, to Coach Yotam being able to come in and really just take the boat with both hands. You know what I mean? He's really accepted the challenge. He stepped up to the plate, and he's been able to, lead us and steer us, in ways that, have been beneficial for us as a team and, guys individually. So I got to give him all the credit, man. He's been doing a great job, and it's been fun playing for him.
Look, man, 2 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, Hapoel first came to the Basketball Champions League, and right from the get-go, they made a statement. They were looking like favorites to get to the Final Four. It didn't happen in 2019. 2020, just before the pandemic, I mean, they looked like a team that were making a statement to bring the championship home. Last year was a very tough season, but all of a sudden, you've now, with your teammates, with Jalen Adams, Sean Kilpatrick, you've managed to turn things around. I'm going to be very straightforward with you. What are going to be the expectations this season?
Well, the expectations are great. We have to be very honest. This is a historical team that has high expectations and also takes great pride in the organization. And that is something that, myself and everybody on the team in this organization wants to represent. We demand excellence from ourselves on and off the court. So with that, we have a commitment to come in every single day, bring our best foot forward and give maximum effort. And we believe if we do that, we'll be able to look at the end of the season and be happy with the results. But it's still a lot of basketball to be played, and we're excited for the journey.
Now, you've got 1 game left in the group. You're going up against Baxi and Rest, so they have just made a statement already in the regular season. We weren't talking about them enough in the preseason, of course, and they're proving everybody wrong. But, I mean, everyone's looking forward to this game right now. What can we expect from you guys going into this game? They're undefeated.
There's going to be 2 teams that are going to be hungry to play. I think that, I got to give them credit. I believe they're the only unbeaten team left in Champions League, right? Correct, so, also playing against, my national team teammate in Ismail. So it's gonna be a fun game. I think, the stakes are high for both teams. Obviously they want to go into the next round on a high note. We want to keep, our hot hand going, and we want to keep playing better basketball and growing as a team. So I think you'll find yourself watching a game with 2 teams competing, playing our hearts out and trying to come out there with a win.
Well, Retin Obasohanc, thank you so much for joining us here on the BCL Trash Talk podcast. It is an absolute pleasure to see you in the Jerusalem jersey. And again, we wish you all the best of luck, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, truly.
Well, that was the main event, and that was the main event himself, Mr. Retin Main Event Obasohanc. Now, Igor, you've met Retin before. I mean, what a great player and a great person, but what is it like to be with him in his presence?
I mean, I kind of hate the word, but he is contagious when you're around him. His his positivity, his vision over sight mantra that he keeps repeating is just so fun to talk to. And he did actually write a piece for our website about the vision over sight mantra in the preview of the Nizhny Novgorod Final 8, and he's just an amazing guy. I mean, so happy for him to see him grow from season to season. I remember him from Avellino and then the Bamberg episode. So all the best to Retin and Hapoel Jerusalem, except in this next segment where I get to pick a team other than Hapoel Jerusalem because I'm up against one of the biggest Jerusalem fans.
Well, first of all, I think, the fans watching this right now, we've got two games. The last games here are the regular season. They got postponed. But let's start with the Baxi Manresa versus Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim. Now, Igor, most people call you the MVT, the most valuable tweeter. We can get onto that later on. But, one thing about, in your influence and what you do very well is let's explain to the fans right now the potential outcomes that could happen, whether Baxi Manresa win this game or if Hapoel win this game.
Okay, so it's plain and simple. Basically, Jerusalem are here to win a game to avoid Lenovo Tenerife in the play-in series. So they win, they're going to play against Promete with home court advantage. They lose, they're going to play against Tenerife without home court advantage. So this is a massive game for Jerusalem.
That's monumental because you go on the road to La Laguna in front of potentially a very passionate fan base with championship experience. I mean, that's do or die. I wouldn't want to be Yerushalayim going up against Shemadini. But look, you are very confident that Baxi Manresa are going to win this game. I've got mixed feelings about this, but I want you, in 30 seconds, as we do here on the Talking Heads, to explain to me just why Baxi Manresa will win against Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim. Starting now.
Okay, so 2021 has been a massive year for Manresa. They had a successful closing part of the last season. They got back into the BCL and they are here to win it. They haven't lost the game, and it's crucial for them to be the team that finishes 6-0, the only team to finish 6-0 in the regular season. That's how you send out a message that you're a contender now. They already are, but if you can win this game where the opponent has everything to play for and you're just playing for fun, that's a strong message.
Well, you're very convincing, of course, and I get what you're saying. I mean, no doubt Baxi Manresa have been the best team in the Basketball Champions League this year. They've been undefeated. But right now, I'm going to be very objective. For 30 seconds, I'm going to explain to you exactly why Hapoel, Bank Yehav, Yerushalayim are going to win this final game and clinch that second spot. Starting now.
I love it when you say you're going to be objective. Go!
Well, first of all, this game has little significance to Baxi Manresa. They have been, by far, the best team in the Basketball Champions League this year. Sami Manresa, I have so much respect for this team. They're fantastic. But they're going up against a team that all of a sudden now, a little change in the backroom staff, change has gone in their favor. They're playing with confidence. Retin Obasohanc, he's starting to turn it up. Not to mention Jalen Adams, role players. Not to mention Suleiman Bremer and the likes of Itai Segev. They're going up against a tough team. Hapoel Bank Yerushalayim will win this game. Yeshli shte milim yal Hapoel. I think I went over a little bit too much there, but I had to get that last part in, okay?
I'll forgive you, but still not buying it. Still, this is the second time this season that you picked Jerusalem, and last time you got it right. This time around, I'm kind of feeling confident about Manresa finishing the year off strong.
I would expect Manresa to win any game of the night, but why would they need to win a game they don't have to win? They're already in first place. And on top of that, they're going up against a team that's flying with confidence.
I don't know, man. It's just still the way they play. They didn't have to win the last game, and they also played a perfect game in Poland. That's just the culture that Pedro Martinez has over there. So they're going to win the game. At least they're going to approach it 100%. So I got a good feeling about this because it's not easy to win in Manresa. It's really not easy to win over there.
Okay, before we go into the next game, with all due respect to Arged, Biamstal, Ostrov, Wielkopolski, I love that club. I think they've got great fans. They are not Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim. Let's move on.
Yeah, they beat them.
And then they lost to them, okay?
Okay.
Anyway, moving on now. Whoa, this is a game I like very much. We got PAOK versus Igor Kea. I mean, first of all, let's explain to the fans the outcome, because Nürnberg did lose against Galatasaray. Nürnberg, their season's done. So,
yeah.
What is the outcome of this game either way, whoever wins?
So they're both through to the play-in series. You win, you get home court advantage against Ostende. You lose, you're playing without home court advantage against SIG Strasbourg. So this is a tricky one. It really is. It really is.
And if I'm correct, I believe that you believe Igor Kea will win this game.
Of course I do. I mean, give me 30 seconds and I'll tell you why.
I will give you 30 seconds starting. Just give me a moment. Let me reset my timer. You believe Igor Kea is going to win. Lay it on me now.
Igor Kea is probably the most physical team of the entire Basketball Champions League. And when you're playing in a close game, when you're playing in a do-or-die game, being physical is what matters. PAOK are certainly going to feel the presence of guys like Ilic, Radanov, of their point guard. I mean, it's just going to be a tough physical game in which I believe that Igor Kea are going to end up victorious. And I'm expecting an all-round performance by Alexa Radanov.
Okay. Look, you make a very good point there. And before I get to my 30 seconds, this is going to be probably the closer of the two games that we see. There isn't a lot to separate these two teams, but I'm going to give you 30 seconds as to why PAOK will be victorious and get the home court advantage in the play-in. You ready?
Yep, go.
PAOK's existence in the Basketball Champions League has always been overshadowed by their Greek rivals in Athens, which is to the south, by a team called AEK. Both of these two teams branch from the Constantinople branch in their history. But again, that has nothing to do with this game. You made a good point. On the stats, Igor Kea, they dominate the rebounds, they dominate percentages, but they are playing in Thessaloniki. They are playing in front of Paukara, the PAOK fans. This team is desperate for success. PAOK in front of their home crowd will take care of business. I will leave it at that. We're talking about pride now. We're not talking about percentages. We're talking about pride.
Yeah.
Pride.
Honestly, if I'm Igor Kea, I'm worried the most about the man with the most beautiful last name, Jermaine Love. Because when he gets going and he gets hitting those shots, it always feels like they bring a little bit of extra for PAOK for the entire team. So this is the guy that I'm paying the most attention to if I'm Igor Kea.
But it's not just Jermaine Love. You got to mention, there's a plethora of role players on this team. Vlado Yankovic. These guys have proven on their day that they can step up. They're the only team to beat Galatasaray, and they did that in front of their home crowd. And the thing with PAOK right now, they have only just discovered their identity this season in the Basketball Champions League. Previous seasons, it was the talk of going to Thessaloniki and who was going to get a triple-double, who would leave with a double-double, who was going to have the scorer night. It's not like that anymore. And if you saw that Galatasaray game, Paukara, the PAOK fans, they acted as the intimidation factor. They completely terrify opposing teams.
Sure, but at the same time, watching Igor Kea play in the Adriatic League, I don't think we've seen the best of them in the BCL yet, because they're a team that defeated Crvena Zvezda in the Adriatic League. They played against Partizan, a really close game, the one they lost on the last second shot. So basically, Igor Kea are a much, much tougher team that we've seen in the BCL this time around. They have been a tough team since like a couple of seasons ago when they put together this core of strong domestic players. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a physical game, and Igor Kea love physical games. That's my point.
Well, we got physicality going up against pride. These two teams will play on the 29th. Apoel Bankiav Yerushalayim, they'll play on the 28th against Baxi Manresa. And man, 2021 has been a fun ride. We're heading into 2022, but really quickly, as we leave to go into 2022, I mean, what was your favorite moment from 2021, whether that was last season or this season?
It had to be the Final 8 in Nizhny Novgorod, because everything that went on over there is just, I think the BCL showed how good of a league it is, and having upsets like Strasbourg beating Tenerife, having Pilar Karšiaka play 3 close games, almost winning the title with their fans all the way in Russia is just crazy. And of course, you had Hereda San Pablo Burgos repeat their success with Coach Joan Peñarroya. Was just a memorable experience and just such a joy to be there and to witness it firsthand. I mean, looking forward to 2022 to see if we get a new champion this time around.
I'm going to sign off 2021 with not so much a specific moment, but an evolution of a team. And as you mentioned, you talk about the Basketball Champions League, the quality of this league, how it runs in lines with the international qualifiers. Right now, homage must be paid to Hungarian basketball and Falco Sambate. I'm looking really forward to seeing how far this team can go. You know, it is the holidays now. So if the people at Falco Sambate have a XXL hoodie, t-shirt, jersey. I have a cousin currently right now is, struggling.
Oh,
his name is also Josh, last name Bett.
Has the same address as you. I mean, you deliver actually to him. So yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So
man. You think you just probably need to say it in Hungarian. I need a jersey Falco, and then they're gonna send it to you.
That's not a bad idea. I'm going to do that right after I sign out. I'm actually going to do that right. Thank you for this. Thank you. Look, man, it's been a privilege. I look forward to this show continuing in 2022. But for now, I'm your host, Josh Bett. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Igor Curkovic. It's good night here from the BCL Trash Talk podcast.
Merry Christmas, everybody.